Okay, so to close this out, let's talk about. I mean, I know that the last couple days, the NBA has been focusing on the Brooklyn Nets, and that's all they've been talking about. But let's talk about something big that happened, uh, basketball wise, this past couple of days. so, um, James Harden, um, has a foot injury, and he's gonna be out for a month. Right. So the Sixers overall, slow start to the season. Embiid, slow start so far. Maxey has looked good. Harden has looked relatively good compared to how he was the last year and a half. So, how do you think that this Harden injury will impact the Sixers over the next month or so?
I honestly don't think it would. Believe it or not, I actually don't think it will impact them too much, considering how well Maxi is playing.
Mhm.
I think that's going to be the biggest thing because everyone else on the team, they're essentially doing fairly well. I think obviously you're gonna have to pick up slack for a player losing out on a player like Harden, but I think Maxi's taking up most of the slack there. And then in terms of scoring, they can probably rely on some of their bench players who are pretty solid as well to take up some of the scoring responsibilities. I mean, I can name players. I would imagine someone like Shake Milton probably getting a bit more minutes for them with Daniel House as well. So with this injury, who are both and those are two players who are known for scoring. I mean, they're not the best scorer, but they'll give you at least 8 to 10 points a game, give or take. So I think that's solid contribution to try to make up for the loss of Harden.
Yeah, man, I'm like in agreement with you. I actually don't think this will
I
affect
definitely too.
Houston that much with Harden being out a month, and I honestly might think that they might play even better. Like I feel like Maxi has been overshadowed with the whole, oh my God, Harden looks almost as good as he did in Houston. I mean, almost. He's not quite there, but I feel like that's been the story. But I feel like the story of the Sixers so far has been Max. It should be Maxi because he's averaging 24 points on 52% shooting and 47% from three. Right. And obviously, without Harden, like his usage is going to be way up. He's probably not going to keep up his high shooting percentages, but man, like I think especially once MB kind of comes back from his illness, which should be pretty soon, I actually think that the Sixers will be better just because their offense will be so much more fluid. Because what made their offense great, well, not great, pretty good last year before Harden was it was pretty fluid. It was right. Embiid, you give the ball to Embiid, he operates. If he's getting doubled or if he's trapped, he just kicks it out, and then the ball just moves, and then whoever has the best matchup scores. That's more or less what the offense is. Um, so I feel like with a better overall team compared to last year, like with you know as you mentioned, like Melton and House, and with Maxi so much better than he was last year, I actually think that the Sixers will be better. Because even though Harden is a lot better than he was last year, all his deficiencies that he's always had as a player, whether it was lack of defense, at times over dribbling, at times taking bad shots, right? Those elements are still there, right? So I do agree with you that the Sixers won't miss him that much, and if anything, they might be
Some guards
better.
to pick up the slack. Like I don't know why I completely forgot about Milton, but Milton's averaging almost 10 points a game as is. So I would imagine his usage is going to go up.
Yeah,
They also have other guards too that I know they don't play like Milton really much, but he's actually a pretty solid guard. And I think maybe he's just there's just not enough minutes for him. But I believe he played a lot more minutes in previous seasons. Like his career average is almost 10 points a game. So I think he can pick up some of the slack as well. So they have other players. Their bench isn't as barren as some people might think it is. So it's a pretty overall on paper at least, it's a pretty solid team. So even without Harden, I think they still should be able to pick up some wins. and be on track to at least make the playoffs.
Yeah, man. Like I know that Thibault started like, the other day, but I can't imagine that continuing. I think eventually, Milton or Melton, one of the two,
Elton and
will,
Milton.
yeah, one of the two will has to get more minutes because I mean their offense at times kind of hit or miss, yes, but Thibault has very, very, very limited
He's an
offensive
offensive. Yeah,
skills, right?
he's a pure defensive player more or less.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll see how the Sixers go. But I mean, as long as Embiid comes back healthy, as long as Maxi comes back health or stays
He needs
healthy,
the
and
ball.
yeah, and
He
just
needs the
just
ball.
shoots, right? So yeah, man, I think the Sixers will be pretty good. And then it'll be up to Harden to try to find his way back into the offense. I don't think he can come back, taking all those shots and handling the ball as much as he does. So hopefully he comes back, and if he can find that balance between what he was last season and like what he is now, I feel like that will be so much better just because that's what the Sixers really need is just to have the ball move and to get to the ball to folks who are open and who are cutting and beat when he's in post, when he's being guarded one on one and so on and so forth, right? So if Harden can kind of like take a step back with the offense and take a step up with the playmaking, kind of in between what he was last year and like this year, I think the Sixers will be good. So we'll see. But um in closing thoughts, do you have any last minute comments, thoughts on anything else that's going on in the league right now?
Nothing really. I think the whole Kyrie Irving getting suspended thing is quite interesting. Uh, but yeah, other than that, nothing too groundbreaking so far.
Yeah, maybe we could talk about this next time, but man, like,
They're already a bad team, and you lose out. I'm not I'm not saying he doesn't deserve keep getting suspended, but it's like you already look. This team is already dysfunctional. It's only going to get worse.
yeah, man, like, I mean, I feel like we could spend a whole like 30 minutes talking about this, but let's save this for like next time when I think by the time we speak next time we'll get more clarity if Kyrie will be back with the Nets, if and then if once we get more clarity on if he comes back or not, if he doesn't come back, I would imagine the Nets have to do like a fire sale on their team, right? Because
Yeah, there's no
KD's not
point.
gonna KD's not going to want to play by himself, and Ben Simmons is not playing well. And yeah, man, let's say that for the next conversation because I feel like by the next time we speak, we'll get more clarity and we can discuss the Nets in full.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds good, man.
Cool, man. Well, Davis, pleasure talking to you. I hope you have a good rest of your night, and man, I will see you next week, bro.
Yep, sounds good. See you later, Brian.
See you, man.